Alrighty, thank you so much for joining in today's video. My name is Hamish. I'm the founder of ATech AI. We are regional Queensland's first AI studio. Alright, so what does that actually mean? Basically, we create all things, anything to do with AI, essentially, and we make some really cool stuff happen for businesses in terms of automating their workflows, automating the chat processes, the customer interactions through phone calls, through text, however they wish. And then we have a couple other things in there as well. So if you want to learn more, definitely go to atechds.com and you can find out more information. Excellent. But today we're actually focusing on something pretty cool. Today we're focusing on something called custom actions. Okay. So what is a custom action? Well, a custom action is something like this, for instance. So this is the exact action we're going to recreate here together. So what this does is this custom action, for instance, gets a random quote, an inspirational quote that was said by someone famous in the past, and uses that as an analogy to make the prospect understand about our AI services and how crucial it is for these said businesses to have these services. So we'll go through this in further detail in a second. First of all, we need to create our assistant. And of course, if you do not have an account yet, why don't you? Please go to the link in our description and you'll find all the details there on how to sign up and create your own AI phone agents. So definitely do that. We're going to create a new outbound assistant. All right. If you don't know the difference between inbound and outbound, what we're seeing really is, do you want the AI to call your customer or do you want the customer to call the AI? That's the difference, okay? You can also have a widget here that's available on your website, but I've already covered that in my previous video. Do go watch that if you haven't. So let's create an outbound assistant. Now, I'm not setting up any phone numbers or anything like that. This is just assuming that you have already got everything set up. If you don't have an account, that's fine. As I said, go to the description box below and just watch my previous videos on how to set up your accounts accordingly. Cool. So let's just give this a random name here. I'm feeling like a male today, so I've been playing around with female voices, but I want to try out the males as well. So let's go James. Let's go with English Australia because I'm in Australia, and we can see here. Let's go for Donny. All right, perfect. You know what? I'm going to use GPT-4o. Excellent. And our patience level, because it's just a sales outreach consulting call, for instance, so it's that will be 3 seconds, should be okay. I mean, for extreme like sales and consulting calls that you know that are going to go for more than like say 15 minutes, higher is more preferred, but in my case medium should be okay, but we can fine tune this later anyway, so that's fine. Cool. So hey, this is James calling from yeah, let's do it. ATech AI. Let's create it for ourselves. Excellent. Because we're in Australia, we need to put in words like mate, g'day, and etc. So that's fine. In the advanced settings here, so this is probably something new for a lot of people. So in the advanced settings, we can optimize the streaming latency. I like to either go for max or halfway. It just depends on how the line is. I may have mentioned this in the past, but I'll mention it again. The phone numbers in Australia, for instance, they're very difficult to keep consistent in terms of network quality. So because the phone lines of Australia are pretty backwards in that sense, it does become a bit difficult to maintain the quality. Sometimes you might have calls cutting out, reception issues, network issues, but again, that's not the phone agent's fault per se. It's just how Australia's infrastructure is. But hopefully, fingers crossed, that will be changing very, very soon. All right, so let's keep it at max for now. That should be fine. Stability, that's fine. Similarity is all fine. If you have used 11 Labs before and played around with the stability and style exaggeration and stuff like that, you would be very familiar with this. You can also do a good thing here is you can also do what's called voice prompting. So this is the concept of, for example, he or she said, can you just speak slowly and higher? So can you speak slower? All right. Okay, cool. So in this case, because I'm here, so let's just go with here, whatever. And these are two new features as well. So the max idle duration. So if there's nothing said for 15 seconds in this case, the AI will automatically end the call. But let's max that out to 100 seconds just to be on the safe side. And the initial pause before speaking, this is really cool. So as soon as the customer answers the phone, it will take, for instance, 2 seconds before the AI actually speaks. You will have to work on the timing of this and test it out for yourself. But this feature is really cool for two reasons. One, sometimes when the AI starts talking, the customer's saying, "Oh, hello, this is Tony speaking," for example, and they can't understand because they talk over each other, right? And two, it sounds more natural. And that's really the key here, because we want these to sound as human as possible, right? Not as AI as possible or as robotic as possible. So yeah, having that natural pause there before speaking, which is something that we tend to do in our sales calls anyway at ATEC AI. So for us, that's just a natural thing that makes sense, okay? And the speaker boost, I should mention as well. So if you have a voice that may be a little bit on the soft side in terms of volume, you can use this to increase it, but it does come at the risk of latency. It does increase the time of responses very, very slightly, but of course in a phone call situation that makes a difference. So just fair warning of that. And of course we're going to enable recordings as well. Cool, so we are here now. So this is pretty stock standard, as you guys can see here. Not much has really changed around here, but what we are going to do is just set up the phone agent, and then we'll create the custom action, come back to this phone agent, and then do the process from there. So I already have a knowledge base set up. Very quickly, I should actually show you that as well. So I have a knowledge base. You can just create a new folder by clicking here, selecting a name, adding some conditions for the search. For instance, how many properties are available in the city. That's a very stock standard example there. And then once you've done that, you can go ahead and upload your PDF documents, website link, everything. And as a matter of fact, my website is not in here. It's fine. I'll add that in there right now. Perfect. And we're uploading that. Cool. So that's now going to go ahead and actually start scraping for you, which is really cool. So that happens behind the scenes, of course. Okay, cool. So I have a script here. All right, I've got a prompt. Again, if you don't know how to write these prompts, that's okay. We have a Copilot here. You can ask the Copilot, or I do have my own custom GPT that you can use. I will leave a link to that in the description. So we have this AI phone agent prompter here that's available on ChatGPT. If you have ChatGPT Plus or Enterprise, you can use that, no problem at all. So you just enter in, for instance, you guys should know how I do my prompting by now, and this is slowly becoming the standard of how to do things. So you need a role, okay? You need a task. You can replace the task with a call script as well, right? It really just depends on what your style is and what your angle is with these agents, but you can replace the task with a call script. You need some specifics, right? These are the specific details that the AI must follow in order to proceed with the call. And definitely provide some examples of inputs and outputs. So inputs would be the questions the customer would ask, and the outputs would be how you as the human would want to respond to them, so the AI can replicate that as best as it possibly can. See, the thing is, these don't really matter as much as this. That's the thing. You can write 1 or 2 sentences about all of these. That's fine. But it's the examples. If you go into intricate detail with the examples, that's when you can get the best output for your prompts, especially for voice AI. Okay, so I'll make another video eventually about how, or really what the difference is between prompting a text assistant versus a phone assistant. But that's not really the purpose of this video here. We're looking at custom actions. So I'm not going to go into too much detail anymore. Let's go straight ahead into the build. Again, so we have the prompt here, no problem at all. That should be okay. As a matter of fact, I might actually, let's see how this performs at the moment, because I've put a bit of the script in an example here, but let's see how that goes. So we'll add the ATEC website as well. Okay, so as you can see with the knowledge base here, it came up with suggesting to switch to GPT-4. Now I've actually spoken with the team at SendFlow, and what they've said is that's fine. You can totally do that, but GPT-4o performs just as well. It's still in beta, yes, but it works just as well, so that should be okay. All right, now we won't add the custom action just yet. We'll give this a test shot first. We'll attach a phone number here, and let's just use this one here. Okay, and you need to check the box that you have explicit written permission for more contacts, that you import outreach via artificial and pre-recorded voice calls and etc., all that kind of stuff. Just compliance, really, just to say that you're not a scammer, you're not a hacker, and you're using this for good intentions and not for anything malicious, like you should be. All right, cool. So that's done. So that is now configured, and we are good to go. So I'm going to test this out here real quick. So let's just put test here, and we'll place the call. Okay, so I'm getting the call now. Hello?
Hey, this is James calling from ATEC AI.
Hey James, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing well, thanks for asking. How about you?
Yeah, I'm actually not too bad. How can I help you, man?
I wanted to follow up on our previous chat about AI solutions for your business. Do you have a moment to discuss how we might help streamline your operations and improve efficiency?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd be very interested in that. So I think I saw you guys at the Queensland Mining Expo a few weeks ago. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. It was great meeting so many folks there. To get started, could you tell me a bit more about your business and the specific challenges or goals you're focusing on?
Of course. So at the moment, I have a real estate firm, and we are doing really well, but we're just so busy, and we're so many properties have come up on the market, and we're just struggling with getting the descriptions up and running, putting them on the website, and just dealing with all the inquiries that we're getting from our customers.
Got it. So you're dealing with a high volume of property listings and customer inquiries, and it's becoming overwhelming to manage all that efficiently. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Absolutely, that's right, yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. At ATEC AI, we have solutions that can help with exactly those challenges. We offer AI-powered tools like automated workflows for property listings and chatbots to handle customer inquiries. How does that sound?
That actually sounds very interesting. So these are like ChatGPT style chatbots, or how does it work?
Exactly. Our chatbots are powered by advanced AI, similar to ChatGPT. They can handle customer inquiries, provide property details, and even schedule viewings. Would you like a demo to see how it works?
That sounds pretty cool. All right. Excellent. So that's awesome. That works really well. So I did have the script in the example, and I had the tasks set out accordingly as well. So that worked really well. Actually, that's awesome. But you know what? That's okay for, maybe say 40% of the calls. In sales, as experts would know, it's not that easy. Okay. There's always pushback. There's always objections. There's always things that happen, right? But the biggest thing, especially when it's a new technology, it's a new concept or a new ideology that's coming into the market, it's really just about the customer understanding how everything works, right? So what I found was, if I use analogies or metaphors in the form of inspirational quotes or, profound things that wise people have said in the past, that helps. That really, really helps. Toe the line, right? So how do we do that? Good question. Let's go into the custom action side of things. Okay, so I've called this inspiration here, but I'm going to call this, I'm going to do exactly the same, all right? And Synthflow does have templates now as well. So if you use Go High Level, for instance, you can get some user preferences. If you go to HubSpot, if you use that, you can get some user preferences and get specific products as well from HubSpot. So that's really, really cool. And these are just pre-built templates. You just press create and then you're away. But in this case, we're going to do completely from scratch. We're going to grab the API. So just search for Quotes API, and it should be one of the first ones that come up. If not, I will leave it a link in the description for you. Okay, so we're going to use this API here, right? And when you go to this link, for instance, it will just bring up some random quotes, right? So, this life which had been the tomb of his virtue and of his honor is but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts. Okay, that's pretty crazy. That's Shakespeare. There you go, so that's cool. So there you go, Stephen Hawking said, work gives you meaning and purpose, and life is empty without it. So, excellent. that's an interesting quote that the AI could use to play off and, you know, see how we can make things work. Yeah. In this case, so we have a get request is what we want because we're getting information. A post request is sending out information to the API, but in this case we're getting it, and we don't need to worry about any query parameters. We don't need to worry about any headers or authentication because this is just a publicly accessible API available for free of charge with no user authentication required. So that's good. All right. Of course, if you know what you're doing in this case, then that's fine. If not, please do let me know in the comments if you want further details on how to actually handle the query parameters, headers, and authentication, etc. More than happy to go into further detail on that for you, most likely through my shorts. We've just hit 15,000 views as well, which is pretty crazy. I only started this channel about, almost a month ago now, and yeah, I really can't thank you guys enough. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. It really means a lot. Another thing I should mention actually is I was looking at the YouTube stats. Alright, 98.9% of you guys are not subscribing to the channel. So you guys must subscribe in order to find out when we're posting good videos. It can help you guys, you know, prosper in the world of business thanks to AI. So we've got this API link set up here, all good to go. Now we need to define our variables. So in this case, if you see here, so we have an ID, right? And we have a text, and we have an author. Okay, so in this case, what we want to get is the text. So how do we do that? We need to define the variable during the call. You can do it before the call as well. However, there's no real point because you don't know when the customer's going to say, I don't know if this is for my business, right? But you're better off doing it during the call, so then you know that it's going to work for sure. So we're going to create a variable here called text, and the type is going to be a string. All right, and use this when the customer doesn't think or understand this will work for them. All right, so for example, I'm not sure if this is for me, for instance. Okay, proper example here. Okay, so we're going to call it Inspire Customer, and the description will be to use quotes to inspire user into considering using AI. Alright, now this is really cool. You can put in a speech or like a little line of text that it will say, so you can recognize that the action was executed. If I could explain like this, right? Cool. And now we also have the option to run the action before the call starts, but again, as I said, it's not really necessary at this point. It should be okay. Now we're going to test the API call, and we're going to initialize the action here. And we have a status of success. So notice how this is looking here, right guys? So this is very important. So we need to understand how this API reads in order for us to actually use this as we want. So the results are underneath is in the results column. So for instance here, when you come to step 5, we need to write a prompt here to use the AI outputs in the conversation, okay? So when you're reading this and you use the open brackets like this next to the M key by pressing shift or it's actually really the less than sign, isn't it? Or the greater than, whatever. You'll see here results starts with the status here. So that's success, no problem. The ID, which is great, but we want the text, all right? We want the text and we want the author name. Essentially what you want to do is if user doesn't understand, say this quote by this author. Cool. And that's it. It's as simple as that, and we're done. So now we have these variables that are included in our prompt, and they will be available for us in our agent moving forward. So that's done. Let's initialize again, and we're absolutely fine. Thomas Jefferson's there. Perfect. Cool. So that is all set up, ready to go. And Inspire Customer is right there. Cool. So now let's go back to James. Go into the prompt here. custom action, inspire customer, as we can see. And wonderful, we're in. But we're not done just yet, because as you can see, some other things have unlocked here for us. This was always there, the variables. That's when you can put in a name, for example, and then you can make it more personalized like that. But we need to put in the custom action names here. So underneath this prompt, we're going to add a tools section. Okay, so this is going to be inspire customer. All right, use this tool when the customer doesn't understand, and bang. Cool. So you can do that here as quote. Cool. So that is all done. Alrighty. So now that custom action should work absolutely fine, and we have all of that there. We've got the information about our website as well. So that should be pretty cool. That should be pretty good to go. So let's give this a test run. Hello.
Hey, this is James calling from ATEC AI.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing well, thanks for asking. How about you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. Not too bad at all.
Glad to hear that. I'm reaching out because we recently connected, and I wanted to follow up on our conversation about AI solutions for your business. Do you have a moment to chat about how we might be able to help streamline your operations and improve efficiency?
Yeah, let's do it, yeah.
Great. To get started, could you tell me a bit more about your business and the specific challenges or goals you're currently focusing on?
So at the moment we have a real estate firm, and we're trying to make things happen, but it's so busy. The demand is crazy. There's a lot of properties to sell, man, and I can't really keep up with it.
Got it. Sounds like you're dealing with a high volume of properties and it's tough to manage everything efficiently. Just to confirm, are you looking for ways to streamline your operations and handle the demand more effectively?
Absolutely, yeah.
Perfect. At ATEC AI, we specialize in solutions that can help with exactly that. We offer AI-powered tools like voice agents and chatbots to handle customer inquiries, as well as automated workflows to streamline your processes. Can you tell me more about how you're currently managing customer interactions and property listings?
That's interesting. So at the moment, we're not really we're just outreaching on social media and calling people. I've got a team of 15 callers that are just constantly cold calling our customers. But the problem is that that's really expensive. So I need something that's cost effective as well at the same time.
I hear you. Cold calling can definitely rack up costs quickly. Our AI-powered voice agents and chatbots could be a game changer for you. They can handle a large volume of customer interactions at a fraction of the cost, freeing up your team to focus on closing deals. Would you be interested in seeing a demo of how these solutions work?
I would be interested, but I just don't understand this world enough, I don't really know if it's for me or if it's going to work for my business.
I understand your hesitation. Let me share a quote with you. The best way to predict the future is to create it, by Peter Drucker. How about we schedule a demo so you can see firsthand how it could fit into your business?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that because I don't think you actually used the right quote.
I appreciate your honesty. Let's focus on what matters most to you. How about we set up a quick demo and you can see for yourself if it aligns with your needs?
Yeah, I still don't understand. I don't really think this is for me, Matt.
I hear you. How about we take a step back? What specific concerns do you have about using AI for your business? Maybe I can address those directly.
I'm just not sure if this is for me.
I get it. Trying something new can be daunting. How about we do a no obligation demo? It might give you a clearer picture without any commitment. What do you think?
I just want you to use the custom action, man, to be honest. I'm just not sure if this is for me.
Let me share a quote with you. If I could explain it like this: we become just by performing just action, temperate by performing temperate actions, brave by performing brave action. Aristotle. And sometimes taking that first step can make all the difference. How about we give it a shot with a demo?
Okay, can you do that again, please?
Sure thing. We become just by performing just action, temperate by performing temperate actions, brave by performing brave action. Aristotle. Taking that first step can really make a difference. How about we schedule that demo?
Can you tell me another quote, please?
Let me share a quote with you. If I could explain it like this, here's another one for you. All the interests of my reason, speculative as well as practical, combine in the three following questions. 1. What can I know? 2. What ought I to do? 3. What may I hope? Immanuel Kant. Sometimes it's about exploring new possibilities. How about we explore this with a demo?
So you know what? Sometimes it is about exploring new possibilities, mate, and I think you're absolutely right there. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it.
Awesome. Let's get that demo scheduled. What time works best for you?
Excellent. So we got there in the end, and as we can see here with the call as well, sorry, we haven't done any live calls yet. Let's do a test. There we go. It was a 5-minute call, and we had 2 actions. So as you can see, I'll remove this out of the way. It did actually use the actions twice, as a matter of fact. So that is really, really cool, and you can see how this could really benefit, businesses in terms of, how things could work in their business, right? So this is next level stuff, and as you can see, the process of building this wasn't very difficult at all. It just takes a little bit of time to get everything set up, but once you have everything set up, it's pretty cool. It's very, very cool, as a matter of fact. Alrighty, so I just wanted to really make this quick one and just show you how to use custom actions in your voice agents, and then moving forward we will also go into some further details as well on how to do things after the call ends, how to set up automation workflows for things that happen after, even to initiate calls as well, because we have this new feature here called Batch. It's back. Okay, they actually removed this a few months back because they were working on it again, and this is Batch 2.0 effectively. So I'm very excited to show you how this works as well, because we have our new contact list as well here, as you can see. So Synthflow now has its own built-in CRM, so you can essentially transfer the contacts from your CRM into the Batch campaign, and it can start calling pretty much immediately, which is awesome. So we'll go into that in further detail of that shortly, but for now, again, my name is Hamish. Thank you so much for watching. Do like, share, and subscribe. Cheers.